And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
If you've never played Cutthroat Caverns before, then go check out my review of that or give it a try and play that before you look at this, because this is an expansion for that game, the third expansion, Tombs and Tomes, and in my opinion, the best expansion. I really enjoyed Choose Your Own Adventure books as a kid, and I'm still kind of waiting for that to be put into a game format, but this really does come close, and it adds a lot of story to the game of Cutthroat Caverns. So here's what you get in this expansion. You get 15 more monsters, you get more treasure and event cards, which were introduced in expansion 2, more the artifact or the relic cards, tokens for the new monsters, and then most importantly, at least for this expansion, an adventures book, which is double-sided. Alright, let's talk about some of the monsters that come with the game first. Mean and nasty, and it seems like with each expansion, the monsters get meaner and nastier. Here's the Emperor Lich, which, if he's not the last monster in the stack, he will become. He brings in a whole bunch of skeletons to come help him fight, and he'll turn any characters who are dead into undead to fight you too. Real pain in the neck, which I suppose is why he's worth 5 points. Then we have Greed. I love this card. Each turn, you can play any attack card from your hand as a critical miss card on someone else. And he's worth 5 points. And so since you can mess people up all the time, near the end of the fight against Greed, people are just constantly wailing and wailing on each other, trying to get that 5 points. It's hilarious, unless, of course, you're the person getting wailed upon. He's fun because he'll tag you, and you are it, and then he will keep attacking you, but other players can play cards to move the it from one character to another. The Jelly Hive, well, kind of a pain in the neck, but the biggest thing is whoever kills him gets this wonderful token, which subtracts 1 from your hand size for the rest of the game. Thanks a lot, Jelly Hive. Doppelganger. Oh no, it's me, or you. In fact, if you play an attack card with a portrait of someone else, you flip a coin, and if it's tails, the attack misses the monster and instead hits the other character. Lovely. Everyone hates this guy. Betrayal. The person who damages them the most gets a prestige. The person who damages them the least gets a negative prestige, but hits the person who damages them the most with their attack instead of betrayal. Oh, the gnashing of teeth that go around betrayal. And then there's a whole bunch of other really interesting monsters included in this game. There are also relic cards and event and treasure cards, and if you've not bought the second expansion, a real quick explanation of what these are. The event cards are cards, you draw one of these at the beginning of each round. If it's an event, it will change up how the battle occurs. Maybe you have fewer cards to fight that battle, maybe the monster does double damage. Some of these event cards are nastier than others. For example, this one here enrages the creature, so it gets plus 50 hit points for every player that's in it. A real pain in the neck, these event cards. So why would you want to add these? Well, for one, variety, but also they're not all event cards. Some of them are treasure cards, and treasure cards will give you some manner or form to get these relic cards, which can be really interesting. Here's the Diamond Skull, which looks suspiciously like it came from an Indiana Jones movie, but it's worth 4 prestige points. And other ones will give you sometimes negative prestige points, but sometimes they give you bonuses in combat or some kind of extra skill. These are great items, and this adds a lot of variety to the game. However, what I want to talk about right now is the most interesting part of this, which is this book. This book comes with 2 modules. You have the Lady of Mactherium, and then if you flip the book the other way, you have the Mad God's Maze. Now, I don't want to really show you too much of what's in these booklets because it's basically a secret in a sense. What happens is, the book is given to one player. That player reads the storyline, and then they tell you what encounter you come up with. And then you fight that encounter, but sometimes there will be a certain situation where someone has to make a decision. For example, and I'm not spoiling anything here really, in one of the modules there's a door with a hole in it, and the book says, who's going to stick their head through this hole? You choose. Does someone want to do it? And if they do, what happens? Well, I can't tell you what happens, or even if it's, anything else about it, but you have to check this out. Or you might have a chance to, you might have some knowledge because you read a certain part of the book that other people need. Will you give it to them or not? And they're both good they're both good modules. The Lady of Magtherium involves you basically rescuing a lady and getting her out without getting her killed. The Mad God's Maze involves you dealing with Loki, the god of mischief, and then doing basically whatever he wants, and it has a wonderful ending. This is, it's a good module. The problem with these modules are that once you play it, you know what it is. So after you played both of them, and they both take about 2.5 hours to play through, you're done. And I suppose you could play through them again, but it's not the same. Maybe the Lady of Magtherium has a little bit more replayability than Loki, just because of the some of the things that happen in Loki. You could, but these give you the idea of how to make your own modules. Even without the book, this would be an interesting expansion to get. The more monsters, more relics, more events, some really neat, difficult monsters, but this book really adds a lot to the game. I would say the modules that are in here are worth the price of the game alone. They're so much fun. And hopefully online we'll be able to get more of these modules, and maybe in the future each expansion will come with one of these books. It's just a lot of fun, and it really does have that choose your own adventure feel. I love it. Fantastic. Loki, you're a good guy. No, you're not. Well, either way, it was a fun adventure.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.